Good evening. This is the Town of Monroe Board of Finance special meeting. Today is Thursday, December 19th at 7 p.m. The meeting will be recorded and made available on the town's website pursuant to state law. I'm going to go ahead and take roll call. Catherine Stauffer. Present. Steve Kirsch.
Present.
Mark O'Donnell.
Present.
Nick Sentimentes. If you know. Samantha Spino. No. Okay. First Selectman Terry Room is now. Ron Banowski.
Here.
Heidi Mead.
Here.
Deb Hine.
Here.
Frank Dutchess.
Here.
Joe Cossa.
Here.
And then also on the real estate Ferris. Go to bed. Okay. All right, second item is to review the meeting minutes. Is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented?
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the minutes of Thursday, November 21st, 2024.
There's a second.
Second.
Any discussion? You have to vote on it or no? Okay, so we don't have to do roll call though, so all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously. All right, next, was there anything from Terry?
There are three letters in your packet.
Okay.
Two of them introducing each bond
Oh, the
resolution.
resolution, okay.
And then the third one is just the calling for the town meeting by town council, contingent upon the Board of Finance's approval.
We'll cover the letters during the motion.
Okay. So we don't have to read those, right? Okay. All right, so the next up is superintendent's communications, and we have the Board of Ed budget discussion.
Thank you. Here I have just a real quick helicopter view of this. I know Steve was at the meeting the other night, and I also, with your budget books, have the executive summary that was handed out the other night, so that can go right to the that first section there. Just wanted to just give a real quick high level view. I'm happy at any point tonight or in the future to answer any questions you have, but you know, I just talked about a couple of real major overview slides from the executive summary. The first, actually not necessarily in the order of the executive summary, but you know, for this board's edification, just kind of where we are right now, knowing that, you know, this is a long process. It's a long process to make. Right now, what we've done is we've, you know, we looked at the priorities that we have as a school district. We put those 4 priorities there. We have very complex needs of students, or increasingly more students with complex needs. I was sharing with the Board of Education, you know, our MLL, which is multilingual learner population, has increased over the last 7 years, increased 500%, from 15 students to over 90 at one point. The services that we give them, there's really three buckets of high need students: your MLL students, special education students, which you know, we've seen a pretty significant increase in that, over about 73% over the last 10 years. And then also the number of students on free and reduced price lunch. In 2015-16, we had 6.5% of our students in the National School Lunch Program school. So that's our 3 elementary schools and our high school on free and reduced lunch. There was a little bit of change in criteria in like 2017-18, and it jumped up to 11%. We're at 17.5%. Another priority of ours is just to, we try to be as efficient as possible with staff, but sometimes that leads to inefficiencies in the sense of sharing staff from one building to the next, and then not being able to do certain things at buildings. So, you know, one of the positions that we put in this budget is just a 0.4 band position, but that 0.4 band position is something that will allow Massac to change their schedule next year. Without that position, Massac stays tethered to the Jackie Hollow schedule, because we have paired staff. Our band teacher teaches band lessons at the elementary schools, at the middle school. Music teachers go to the elementary schools. We have similar arrangements in art and also in world language. It just makes it really difficult for the schools to, if they want to do something. we talked about, moving to a one-to-one program in, IT with our students. This year, we're one-to-one, grades 3 through 8. Next year, it'll be 3 through 9. And then over the following 3 years, we'll be 3 through 12, one-to-one. We want to make sure that, we have the staff to support it. That staff, in there in particular, and you'll see it on the, in a couple pages, is shared staff with the town. So we're looking at, a combo, person to do inventory and be a tech one person, that would be half time with the town and half time with us. And then also, a cybersecurity analyst and a tech two, which is like a higher skilled tech position, just to protect, on the school end, and I know on the town end, there's a lot of data to protect. On the school end, we have student data, staff data, family data, but, a lot of personal, data that we gotta make sure that we protect. And then the last, budget priority was just replenishing our maintenance accounts last year, to help, kind of soften the adjustment that was made. We try to make any kind of, reductions as far away from kids as possible. So last year, one of the big lines that we hit was the emergency repairs line. In this budget, almost brings that back to the 23-24 level. So you see the increases there. There's a few assumptions like we always have when we go into budget season. Our first assumption, we have increasing enrollment. We've been experiencing it for about 5 years now. We are, as far as I know, the fastest growing community enrollment wise in our DERG over the last 5 years. We're the second fastest growing over the last 10 years behind South Windsor. I don't know of a lot of communities that are even growing. So the fact that we're growing and growing at the rate that we are, I think it's a testament to the town and the schools and everything else. But it's putting pressure on us. However, we're supposed to uptick a little bit next year, but this budget assumes that we will, based on the projections that we have from the demographic study that was just done, that we should be able to maintain the current number of sections. So this budget does not have, an additional classroom teacher, for next year, because we think we're gonna get more kids in kindergarten. So hopefully that holds, but that's the assumption that we're making. We went very, I guess you'd call it conservatively with our insurance projections. We moved to the state partnership plan last year. We saved a lot of money. The projection right now that we're being told by our broker is an increase of anywhere from 10 to 12%. We put in 12% as a placeholder for right now. We won't get those numbers won't tighten up until probably late March, early April, probably when the budget is back with this group there. Our utilities and winter expenditures are based on our best estimates. We've had some good winters in the past few years, so snow plowing, things like that, it run pretty well. Utilities keep running pretty well with utilities, but our concern here is that utilities rates and usage change. That could change. The big wild card always, but thanks to this board, I know you've put in a contingency for special education. This budget assumes that, and we know this isn't going to be the case, but when we budget for the kids in front of us. So right now, the 644 kids in special education are what's budgeted in next year's budget. A kid can move in, and they move in and out of the district all the time. You get a high cost student that comes in, and we have to handle it. And the last assumption is just the inflationary period that we're living in. Inflation has come down, but it's still there. I keep saying, the price of eggs used to cost this much now, and then it went up to this much, and now it's here, but it's still higher than it, than it really was. And I think the next page, which really kind of, thanks to Ron for helping put this together, really tells the story of this budget. So if you took the current fiscal year's budget and you just rolled over to next year with our existing positions right now, not the additional positions, with the health insurance expenses at 12% that we're estimating right now, with the special education costs, kind of the fixed costs that we know going forward, retirements, you have about almost 5.5% increase right there alone. A little bit more than 0.5% of this increase is on the new positions that we propose, which is in here is kind of a darker kind of bluish purple color. It's hard to see, but you see the total of the proposed new positions of 469. So, that gets us to the 6.02, but like I said, approximately 5.5% of that is contractual obligations that we have rolling over from, this year to next year. We're gonna keep looking, Dave and I were talking today, any way we can creatively do things to save money, if there's any programming that, we can open up and bring back into district, anything we can do to save money, we're gonna do it. That's kind of, again, that's like the elevator
Yeah.
version of the budget. I'm happy to go further in depth on anything that's been on.
Can you just remind me, when you say 0.4, 0.5,
Yeah.
what does
So-
that mean? Their time or?
Both.
Yeah, I
Either
know.
half-time.
I've asked this
Full-time.
before.
Yeah, a 1.0 is full-time.
Okay,
So,
okay.
just, it's a little confusing on this, only because the proposed IT positions, 0.5 and 0.5,
Yeah,
that means that half of it will be allocated on.
on the Board of Ed
side
side
and half on the town side.
okay,
But like a music teacher at 0.4,
yeah.
you can think of it two ways. 1.0 is full-time, 0.4 would be 2 days a week.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
right now, we have a 0.6 position, so it'd be making somebody go from 0.6 to 1.0, so they'd be full-time. One of the things I didn't address in here was, we have inequity at the elementary schools, where we have, if you are a band student at Monroe Elementary, you come to school, band is part of your rotation, you go. Because we're sharing all this staff and doing all these things, if you are a band student at Fawn Hollow or Stepney, the Jockey Hollow band teacher and a Massic band teacher are coming over. The only time they can come over in their day is at like 8 o'clock in the morning before those schools even start. So
Mhm.
if you have a parent who's willing and able to drive you, you can participate in band at those schools. If you don't, then you're not getting band in fifth grade as compared to those other schools.
Okay,
So yeah, so
thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure I was interpreting, and I knew there was something special with that. Okay.
yeah.
Joe, just a question on the chart itself.
Yep.
Your column percentage of fiscal year approved, so that's 1650 is basically how much it increased in salary from the previous year.
Correct.
And that represents a 2.3% increase from the previous year, and that represents 38% of the total increase in budget.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So you, if you look at salary and benefits, you're 4% right there. For just the existing staff.
And they're locked in contractually.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
Union contract, right?
Yeah.
7.
Did I miss something?
No, netted in that, Frank, just, cause what was the number
2.31.
Yeah, so we've netted, any like known retirements,
Yeah.
which actually bring that, we've taken the people out and put a placeholder in at where we think their replacement would be hired back. So there's
Okay.
some savings in there. So the GWI over all the bargaining units is probably more than that. But there is some savings throughout the budget as a result of,
Yeah, when you get somebody with like many years and you replace them, that's. a
Yeah, it's
huge-
net of-
a
it's
huge
net of
savings.
tax.
Yeah,
There's a
somebody
big-
starting at base where somebody's going out with 30 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a retirement payout that offsets
Same
that a little
over,
bit.
same
over.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so obviously, we're gonna go into more detail as we get into budget review.
yeah,
Okay.
and I think most people on the board are aware, but I know. The budget's with the Board of Education right now, so they have not, done their review yet.
Okay,
This is
So
very
in
nice
this
to
package,
have
there's a-
though,
there's
the
a schedule
preliminary,
for each.
just to be able to, have this now, have your meeting scheduled, make sure that, we're following. So thank you for
No,
this.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our workshops coming back, right after the break, 6, we have a regular meetings, but that will also most of it be dedicated to a workshop with the schools, and athletics. And then we go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday that week, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, I think it's special education, curriculum instruction, and Thursday is facilities, capital, and one other, IT.
okay.
And then we have additional workshops scheduled. Things.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you put even your dates in here. Good.
Yeah, they're in
Okay,
there.
thank you.
Yes, the last, second, and last page.
Yep.
I'm gonna push to have the board vote on the budget by the 21st, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, at our regular.
January.
That's his
That'd be
recommendation.
my goal to hand it to, by now.
Okay.
And I think you have to have it by the 23rd.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Any questions for Joe? Good. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, so next is review of the financial reports. Ron, anything special with the general fund reports or?
So, yeah, let me just, I just wanted to discuss the revenue for a minute. So it's the first page, after Terry's correspondence in the package. There are a couple of, right now, town clerk revenue is right on target to hit budget. Okay,
Okay.
so that's about halfway down the page there. You can see it's at just under 42% right now. So that's tracking okay. But that's gonna be, how that, I guess, the spring season for house sales will dictate how that finishes out. Building permits are actually tracking low right now. They're at 36%. I did speak with with Bill Holsworth today, and they are tracking light, but a big permit did just come in that, hasn't, I think it's in the review process, but he's anticipating that'll be a large permit fee.
Okay.
Everything else right now is, with the exception of investment interest and taxes, which I'll let the tax collector and the treasurer speak to that later, but everything else is tracking okay.
Okay.
Expenditure wise, Heidi, I think we're tracking the time right now. And the Board of Education, right now, we're good. I'll just state the same thing I said at Monday's meeting. There are a couple of tuition accounts, special ed tuition accounts that are running a little high, but that's, I wouldn't say that's a concern at this point.
Okay.
The first reimbursement for special ed in the spring.
Yeah, I think it's by the end of February.
Okay.
And then the second one later in the spring, and then there's a 2 of them.
Okay.
Does anyone have any specific questions?
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, monthly report of the treasurer.
I think as everybody saw, Federal Reserve dropped interest rates 25 basis points yesterday, which was kind of expected. The real thing to look at was what is the outlook going forward? And what they refer to as their dot plot, which is where all the Federal Reserve presidents and voting members signal what they think interest rates will be going forward. Prior to yesterday's meeting, they were at 4 for the upcoming year. Right now, they're at 2. So that probably bodes fairly well for us interest rate wise, as far as our interest income in the upcoming year. As of through February, we're at $1,366,000 in interest income. That's against a full year obligation of 2.5. So we're slightly ahead. As we know, during the year, we are anticipating interest rates going down. Based on the current Fed outlook, we will probably be in decent shape at the end of the year, not like what we were this year, but we will, unless something dramatic changes, we should come in at that number or greater, probably greater than the 2.5. The stiff rate, which really is what we get most of our interest income on, has stayed pretty constant at about 4.75%, probably greater than a month from the last time they reduced interest rates. Today it was down to 4.73. But again, I don't anticipate a huge drop. We do have 2 million in treasuries maturing this month. Depending on the rates at the time of the maturity, one matures on the 19th, one matures on the 26th. We'll probably stay with either 6 or 12 months. I've asked Carolyn at Janney to provide me updated rates as of Monday. So we'll make some decisions based on that. Other than that, I think we're good. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to
Thank you.
everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And that's it.
All right, thanks, Frank. Monthly report of the tax collector.
Hey.
Hi, Deb.
We are slightly up from last year. And we are doing very well. A lot of money is coming in the last couple of weeks because people want to get paid. Supplemental bills are going to be mailed hopefully a day or two after Christmas. The assessor just sent the file up to quality last night, so I have not approved anything as of yet. So as soon as they become available and all, we'll have them out and get those out.
Okay.
I think I did rough numbers. It's about $1 million supplemental is going to be.
So I know the supplemental grand list is just about, is slightly above last year's.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So I know I did my calculations. I have, because there's some variables in there, but I think it came out to $1 million, like $1,009,000 something when I did the calculations, what the assessor had. And
Okay.
so we're more than what we budgeted for, which is a good thing because we budgeted for 850. So we are, we should be in good shape there. I worry because sometimes there's a drop, but I think we are in good shape there. So next month, which should be big money. Well, not this month, next month, the month after.
Then what are we seeing in terms of delinquencies, foreclosures, bankruptcies, anything?
I just got a bankruptcy yesterday. I have like 3 in the works that were, but the bankruptcies I've gotten was, they're really not that, their real estate wasn't affected because they probably are being foreclosed with for their mortgage.
Okay,
I know there's been a lot of foreclosures, but a bunch of foreclosures.
so that's
but-
my next, that's my
but
next
the
question in
banks-
terms of
we
volume.
pay them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of transfers for banks taking over the houses.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to get a feel for
I've had a
what the
few phone
environment
calls.
looks like out there. Okay.
I've had a few phone calls, not many people saying that they don't have the money and they make payments. I said, as long as, we charge interest at one house. So they have to February 3rd this year because the first land's on a Saturday, so they got a couple extra days there. Let's hope they come. One person who did call came in today and borrowed the money, so she wanted to get it paid. So one I know called and came in. But yeah, we've been,
Okay,
but a lot of people are coming and paying the real estate now. We're doing about 100,000 a day, almost 400.
Wow.
Well, one day we got no mail at all. I don't know where the mail went.
Okay.
People want to get it paid before the end of the calendar year.
Yeah.
A lot
for
of people want to
taxes,
get
yeah.
that. I know I did get one escrow bank up. I got Loretta in already for $300,000 in December.
Yeah.
And CoreLogic is called up to be sending it wire transfer.
Okay.
So, it's coming in,
good.
it's coming in slowly, but
Well, it's coming in,
hopefully December will be as good as we stay ahead of collections. Any other questions?
no, thank you.
All right, public participation. I do see a number. So, any members of the public who wish to participate, you've called in, just unmute your phone and state your name and address for the record.
Rebecca, this is Nick Santamentes. I just wanted to let you know that I'm on the phone
I was
traveling.
looking on my phone to see if that was his. phone
Okay,
number.
cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, hey, mystery solved. I've been on since 7:02 when Joe started.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You don't get credit for that.
All right, so let's move to new business. So we have some resolutions. So first is a resolution for first selectman to transfer funds from HR wage adjustments account for fiscal year 2025.
And the resolution to authorize the first selectman to transfer funds from the HR wage adjustments account in an amount not to exceed the appropriation of $509,152 as approved in the fiscal year 2025 annual town budget. Resolved that pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 7G of the Charter for the Town of Monroe, that the first selectman is hereby authorized to transfer funds from the HR wage adjustments account in an amount not to exceed the appropriation of $509,152 as approved in the fiscal year 2025 annual town budget, and that these transfers are necessary to effectuate retroactive and prospective salary adjustments. A, pursuant to certain collective bargaining agreements as authorized and approved by town council, and B, as determined by the first selectman for certified unaffiliated employees.
Steve Kirsch, I move to adopt the resolution as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion?
When you
So-
to add on behalf of the
Yeah,
first
so,
selectman.
This is just basically a blanket resolution for,
So we don't
so we're
have
not coming to you every time.
Okay.
Something that's approved.
So then do we have to do roll call on that?
Yes, you now do.
Okay,
Yeah,
so now we
next
do,
step.
okay. So Catherine Stopper,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Nick Santamentes,
Aye,
Mark O'Donnell.
Aye.
All right, Rebecca O'Donnell, aye. So that passes unanimously. All right, so next we have the resolution authorizing an appropriation of $190,000 for the purchase of safety equipment and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $190,000 to finance the appropriation. And
Steve Kirsch, I
Yep.
will do this. The following communication was received from the first selectman regarding the resolution authorizing an appropriation and bond authorization of $190,000 for the purchase of safety equipment. Quote, December 5, 2024, to the Town Council, Board of Finance, and legal voters of the Town of Monroe. Pursuant to Chapter 9 of the Town Charter, I recommend the adoption of the bond resolution attached hereto and entitled, quote, Resolution authorizing an appropriation of $190,000 for the purchase of safety equipment and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $190,000 to finance the appropriation. Sincerely, Terrence P. Rooney, First Selectman. I will now introduce and read the following resolution. Resolved that the resolution entitled, quote, Resolution authorizing an appropriation of $190,000 for the purchase of safety equipment and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bond in an amount not to exceed $190,000 to finance the appropriation, unquote. A copy of which is attached hereto is hereby approved and recommended for the town, recommended for adoption by the town. I move to waive the reading of the entitled resolution and that its full text be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting.
Second.
any discussion and
On waiving the reading,
to waive the reading.
no discussion.
Okay,
We have to have.
Catherine,
call.
yep, Catherine Stopper,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Nick Santamentes,
aye,
Mark O'Donnell,
Aye.
Rebecca O'Donnell, aye.
I
Passes unanimously.
I move that the said resolution that is introduced.
Second.
Any discussion?
Pretty much enough.
Okay, so Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Mark O'Donnell,
Aye.
Rebecca O'Donnell, aye, passes unanimously. Okay, the next is a resolution authorizing an appropriation of $1,830,000 for Board of Education upgrades and a roof replacement, and authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,830,000 to finance the appropriation.
Steve Kirsch, I will handle this. The following communication was received from the first selectman regarding the resolution authorizing an appropriation and bond authorization of $1,830,000 for Board of Education upgrades and a roof replacement. Quote, December 5, 2024, to the Town Council, Board of Finance, and legal voters of the Town of Monroe. Pursuant to Chapter 9 of the Town Charter, I recommend the adoption of the bond resolution attached hereto and entitled, quote, Resolution authorizing an appropriation of $1,830,000 for Board of Education upgrades and a roof replacement, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,830,000 to finance the appropriation, unquote. Sincerely, Terrence P. Rooney, First Selectman. I will now introduce and read the following resolution. Resolved that the resolution entitled, quote, Resolution authorizing an appropriation of $1,830,000 for Board of Education upgrades and a roof replacement, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $1,830,000 to finance the appropriation, a copy of which is attached hereto and is hereby approved and recommended for adoption by the town. I move to waive the reading of the entitled resolution and that its full text be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting.
Second.
Any discussion and vote to waive the reading. So any discussion first?
No.
Okay. Any objection to waive the reading? Okay, so
Well, you need to do a roll call.
Yep. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Mark O'Donnell,
Aye.
Rebecca O'Donnell, aye. So that passes unanimously.
Steve Kirsch, I move that said resolution be adopted as introduced.
Second? I need a
I
second.
second.
Okay, thank you. Discussion? Hearing no discussion. So Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Mark O'Donnell,
Aye.
Rebecca O'Donnell, aye. Votes passes unanimously. Okay.
Steve Kirsch, move to adjourn.
Second.
Unless you've got something else.
No, I was just gonna say, wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and hope everyone has a great New Year.